Oh,
Don't worry about that.
well, I might tell something that's not right.
Oh well. But back up there. Your grandpa. Well, after your mother and dad were born, they lived with. After your mother and dad were married, they lived with your grandpa for a year or two.
They lived with him for anyway 2 years, or maybe 3, because said Grandma would get out and say, holler, "Oh, Luther, that's for dinner." And said Bernice would get out, or Carl would get out, and he'd say, "Ludi, Ludi." And he couldn't talk very plain. And I know it was. Well,
Carl was born down in.
he was born down with Grandpa and Grandma. And then they built the house up there. And of course I was born up there. And then Bernita was born up there.
Well,
And then Bernice.
about the time you were born, that's when your grandma died.
She died the 16th of March, before I was born, the 20th of May.
So then your granddad was by himself down there, or did someone? Is that when Sid moved in with him?
No, Grace and Maud and Ralph was all over there. They stayed with him quite a while, and Ralph then went to Mr. White and stayed there a while, and then joined the Army. And then Maud and Grace went up to Payne's. And stayed Nola Payne. I don't know what, I forgot that. And then Maud went over to and stayed with the Browns a little while.
Who is that? Can you tell? Maud said she didn't like staying with the Browns.
No.
Said those boys were mean to her.
And so Papa come back by there. Betty?
She knows who it is. She doesn't
No, she don't know.
Who was that? Oh. Well, they were lost. They didn't know where they were.
You can't tell. No, they'll just take it. And Papa brought her home. He passed there one day, and so he went in and he brought her home. And I think they were still down there when they were married, Maud and Grace. And no, I believe Maud said she went and stayed with Aunt Maud. And Aunt Maud, I believe, made their wedding dress.
I don't know. It's going to be back to 160, and I told you to go back this way, and it's just my own house to the highway. And he said, where this road take you? I said, well, you go, keep on going straight. I said, up to about 2 miles, they'll take you out. But it wouldn't take you anything no more since got that was the highway, old highway. I was thinking about the Mary Cox's, you know. And I said, you could take your left and go out the old highway. I wore my shoes out today morning.
Boy.
And then Bernita had paralysis. And she was just 2.5 years old.
She was 2.5 when polio struck her.
Polio struck her. And she couldn't move. She couldn't move anything for a few days.
Did the doctors come and see her then?
Yeah, Dr. Young from
Galena?
No, from Ozark. It was this doctor's dad, and he had double horses. He had 2 horses to a buggy, you see. And he met Dr. Wade there. And so he started off. He didn't tell Papa anything. Mama said, go out and ask him what about her. And he said, if she's alive in the morning, let him know. And they said, how much do I owe you? And he said, $15.
$15? That's pretty steep, wasn't it?
Papa thought it was. But he said, I never did have anything more to do with Dr. Young. And then Uncle Sid and them moved up to Grandpa's. And they stayed there 4 years up there. And Ural had
meningitis?
Well, that's what killed her. Yeah, but that's what killed her. But she had some other throat trouble. Oh, it was in her throat. And they was quarantined. And us children would go on the hill and look over at Uncle Sid. But we couldn't see her. Oh, it's throat trouble. But
strep throat's the worst thing I can think of. I mean, it hurts the most.
Well, you don't think of it as being a throat trouble whenever you hear it. Whenever you hear it. Oh. I can't think of it.
Mononucleosis? No.
No, it wasn't nothing like that. It was.
Was Walden born? He would have been born about this time then. Was he born over there at your
Born October 14.
Thank you.
Yeah, October 2nd.
Was he born over there at your grandpa's, or do you know?
No. Was it? Bruce was born up there, and Walden was born.
Walden, come see us 30th of May.
Well,
Well, it's not, but Sunday after the new 30th,
oh yeah.
yeah, he was here on Monday. He said he'd been to Ponce and he'd been to,
Around the new, it's paved from the.
hadn't he been to Flood?
No, I don't think so. He just went around that new. It's been paved up to the cemetery.
Yeah. And so after he left, Jill said, well, so let's get in the car and let's try the new pavement out. And so we went on and we come out and we thought, that's the day we saw you down at
Oh,
John.
Walden had been here that day? Or Roger had been here that
Yeah.
day too, hadn't he?
Uh-huh.
Were they here at the same time?
Yeah. And since they left, we jumped in the car and took out.
I was going to come over here that day. I wish I'd come on over earlier.
Well, stay an hour or more.
Mm-hmm.
We never see
But
Walden.
I don't believe that Walden was born up there.
I don't know where he's born.
I believe he's born in Ponce.
That's when Uncle Sid had the store down there.
Mm-hmm.
Did Uncle Sid ever have a store up Hollandville?
Yes, him and
Fred
Well-
Majors?
yeah, him and Fred had a store up there. But I don't know how long they were in it or anything about it. That I never heard that discussed. But he was a single man at that time. And Uncle Sid and Aunt Maud was born, or was married, just after I was born.
Well, this kind of hits the spot, Betty.
Thank you. We kind of eat booze. That mother don't drink much booze anymore. I probably got it on the wrong mark now, and she probably won't drink all of it. She's drinking coffee with me, and me and her just don't hardly eat it like anymore. And tried to fix her something that she'll eat, and he find nothing really. She'll hit the spot.
Well, my mother, when she had that polio, well, of course, she lived through the night. I guess they got in touch with Doc Wade again.
I'm sure that he had. I saw Doc Wade come nearly every day. And the first thing they thought she was better seemed to me like it was a finger or her head or something that moved. And then it was a long time she was sick. And she was, well, it was her right arm and left leg that was worst.
How long it was they showed inside of the room when she had to?
Well, I don't know. I was too little. You see, I was just older than Bernita. But I can remember Papa crying. Him and Mama. And then Bernice was born next February after she had polio.
Well, was my mother able to get up by then? Was she able to get up out of bed, or?
Well, they had to work with her, and Uncle Sid had a old baby buggy, and we'd take her out in the baby buggy to milk after she got better. And we'd take her down to, you know, where we lived. And we'd push the buggy, you know, and I remember them wearing out a set of tires on it.
Hey, Joel called me at the radio.
Who?
Joel Winslow.
Danny's boy, I guess.
He graduated from John Brown University this spring.
Oh.
Got doing 3 years down there. And he's got another boy going to Evangel. College in Springfield this year. He's going to be a preacher.
Bernita wasn't able to go to school till she was 7.
But she didn't have a brace then, did she?
Mm-mm.
Did she
No.
have a cane, or how'd she get around?
She pressed her leg down and would make her self-step some way, would mash her heel down. But it began to draw, and finally it got drawed way up there, and Papa made her a crutch.
How many times she had to learn to walk? Next step?
No, she had learned to walk. Four or 5 times.
But your dad made her a crutch for that left leg.
Mm-hmm.
And her right arm, it got about all right, didn't it?
Well, it was never okay, but she never did use it like she did her other one. But it was better than her leg. Her leg began to draw her heel, and it almost touched her. And she was 13, and we went to a picnic at Ozark. And there's a man took out after her and said she was running as hard as ever she could to keep away from him. Finally, he overtook her and asked her what her dad's name was, and she told him, and he said, ask her if she wouldn't like to go to a hospital where she could walk, and naturally she wanted to. And he said, where is your dad? And so she helped him find Papa. And he was a Shriner. And so they began from that.
But she went to school for about 5 or 6 years before that ever took place, didn't she?
Yeah, I believe she was in the 7th grade whenever she went.
And went over here, was it White Oak?
Yeah, White Oak. But you see, she had to go on the horse. She rode Old Dillard over there.
Yeah.
She could ride Old Dillard as fast as he wanted
She
to go.
didn't get her brace till she got back till she went to St. Louis, did she?
She was in St. Louis, and she went there in September. And she was gone 9 months and 1 week.
Wasn't that in 26?
She was flat on her back.
Wasn't that in 26?
I don't remember.
Well, if she was you said she was 13?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's 13. She would have been 14 she went in September, and she would have been 14 in November.
Mm-hmm.
She's born 1910.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And So when she came back, they had her, they had drawed this foot up, and they'd operated on here, and then they'd operated on her hip. Did you ever see the scar
No, not.
that they operated on? And they operated on her leg and made I forgot what kind of knee she called it. And then they operated on her. They operated on her 8 times. And then they drove this other foot up. One up about that way, and the other one up this way. And put her on the steel frame. And she was out of way for 9 months. And when she come home, they put her in isolation whenever she's out there. And she had lost so much weight, they was scared to keep her in longer, and so they sent her home, and so she would gain little.
How did she travel? Did your dad go up and get her? Or?
Papa took her up there on the train, and then he went and got her on the train. And boy, would it ever make her sick. And he went and got a pillow. I forget how much it cost him, but in the train you could rent those pillows. And she'd put her head in that pillow and helped her a little. And she come home and she had that brace on. And she had a pair of high-top brown shoes. Well, she wore them a little while, and they'd make her feet sore. She had to change them.
But they fixed the brace for her up there.
They made the brace for her.
For those brown shoes.
Yeah. But I don't know why she kind of wore those shoes out. I don't know. I don't know whatever become of those shoes. They may have burned in the house. I don't know. And they took her back once, and they said she was getting along pretty good. That for her to come back here and then come out there again, but she never did go anymore.
The second time she went up, she didn't go. She didn't stay up there, did she? She just went up for a little checkup.
She went up there for a checkup, and she came back, and she never did go. They told her to come back, and they never did take her back. They never did.
When we was in St. Louis last summer, was come back, we saw went to the Barnes Hospital, and we almost pleaded for Joe to circle around there, but he didn't take our hits.
Yeah, I went out and drove around that place.
The Shrine Hospital. Well, they've made it all different.
Yeah, I'm sure it looked pretty modern.
Yeah. And
Well, she came back down here then, and that put her behind a year or two, about another year in school.
She was about 2 years older in her class, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was about 2 years older than the one she graduated with. But her last year was over at White Oak. Bonnie Cook was her teacher, and she was in the 8th grade that year, and she graduated. The year that she come home, Pop said he couldn't send me to school. That Grandpa was sick there. And then Bernita had come home. And he said he just couldn't. And so I stayed at home and Bernita stayed at home that year. And Grandpa passed away then in April. And then the next year, we went to Ozark. Bernita was a freshman and I was a senior.
That's when you stayed with Jesse?
No, that was my freshman year when I stayed with Jesse. Bernita and I had a room in Ada Tate's house. There was 3 rooms on the front. We was in the middle room. And we did our own cooking and taking care of our own house. And Papa got our wood. And
Bernie said every night that Uncle had fried potatoes for supper.
Well,
I liked them. And
like fried potatoes.
We didn't have much to eat. Monday morning, Mom would get up and she'd bake a big pound of cornbread, and we'd take a half gallon of milk with us. That was in the summertime, or in the fall when there was first wind, so it wasn't sour. And we didn't have any ice box or anything to put it in.
Well, go ahead.
And then she'd usually have some dried beans or green beans, one for us to take to eat. And boy, I tell you, we eat the first night or two.
Did your dad, did he go up and get you every weekend?
Yeah. He'd go after us every weekend.
Did he have a car at that time?
Oh, yeah. Papa's had a car since 1919.
1919.
You see, there's not many had a car at that time. He got the 30th day of May in 1919, or the 29th day of 29, because he drove it around, went to the cemetery, and then I don't know how come to go to Shibbol's, but anyway, we went to Shibbol's, and we come back, and he found all that radius rod had come out of socket underneath. Oh, I tell you, we scared. It's a good thing we got home and finally, and he did have it fixed. I think Raymond Mabes, maybe, or somebody had put it back, and that radius rod, it was a ball, and it fit in the thing.
Was it a Model T?
Oh, yeah.
That's about all they had back then, I guess.
Yeah, he had a Model T. He had ordered that about a month before he got it. He ordered it from the Bingham Hardware at Ozark. And so they phoned him, or they let him know. I guess we had phones back in that time. And let him know that his car had come in. So he got Clay White to take him up there and to show him how to drive. Why, he had never drove a car. But anyway, Clay White let him drive his and showed him how to drive and everything. And
did your mother ever learn how to drive?
No. And the first time they ever let me drive was one time Papa and Uncle Sid went to a fishing. And it'd come up the awful storm down at Ponce. I mean, it was coming up. And I said, and Mama was just walking the floor. I said, come on, Mama, and I'll take you home. And she said, why, you can't take me home? I said, I can take you home. So I took her home, and I drove into the garage. Didn't hit either side, or didn't hit the back. And then so the next time, I don't know how come the next time to come up, but she let me drive, and I kind of tipped the back of the garage a bit. But Mama'd go with me any place.
About how old were you? I mean, you weren't 16, or were you?
Oh no, I wasn't 16. You see, I was 11 when Papa got the car, because he got it in 1919. And no, I was born in 30.
See, you're
Hey.
53, 54 years old.
I'm trying
Yeah.
to get back that age. I was born in 8 and 19.
But when you nicked the back of the car, and did your dad not have a fin?
I didn't nick it. I just tapped with a fender,
Oh, it didn't.
or with a
Bumper?
bumper.
Didn't. Okay.
Oh no, I didn't nothing like go through. I just tapped it. Just got too close, that's all. He didn't say a word. But I had the first year I went to school at Ozark. That was in 23. I started high school at 23. And one day Joe Howard was going to high school up there at that time. And he was working in the Schallenberger's drugstore. So he was coming home that night and said I could come home with him. And so, boy, it was just pouring down rain. We got up there, and Joe got out to open the gate, so I got under the wheel and I drove through. He wasn't expecting me to drive through. And boy, he nearly had a fit. Then, of course, we phoned over and told Papa I was over there.
Well, you went to Ozark. You stayed with Grandpa Cox your first year,
Mm-hmm.
and then who'd you stay with your
The
sophomore?
second year, I went to Highlandville, and I went with Mr. Welch. He was I'd walk, you see, over to the corner over there. And
Which corner are you talking about? Over here where White Oak was, or?
no, it was the corner before that.
Okay.
The corner of the Ellick place.
Okay.
And you see, he lived on South, and I'd meet him there. And so Merle Landers and me went to school up there, and Merle would meet her up here at the schoolhouse. And Merle and me went with him.
That'd be about Harry Madden's Lane.
Yeah, it'd be Harry Madden's Lane, down at the corner there. And the next year then, Faye Landers, and well, I started with the kids from Ponce over That's I think that maybe, I don't know whether it's the first year or second year they had a school over it. I bet it was the first year. Poindexter was the superintendent. And they had it up over the store in the old IWF hall. And I was school at Spokane the third year. And
then you set out a year, or did you go?
yeah, I had sit out a year. That whenever Bernita and me.
And then the next year you went back to Ozark.
Next year, Bernita and I went to Ozark.
You went your freshman and senior year.
Yeah, I went from freshman and senior year.
My mother just went. She went 1 year to Ozark, and then
The rest of them.
Spokane.
No, she went to Ponce 1 year
She went to Job School.
to Job School down there. The next year,
What's a Job school?
that's what they had way long back whenever they didn't have no more schools. And
Well, I mean, what? I don't.
well, I don't know.
It just was it an every year thing, or?
Well, I think that was the only year they had a Job School. And all that Gann was a superintendent down there. Those kids would come pretty good.
Then she went to Spokane her last 2 years. How did she get down there?
Well, Furnace drove the car, him and Walden. They drove the car, all of them. Or she stayed with me most of the time. After I was married and moved up there.
Did you read that piece that Lehman Rollins wrote in the headline? Oh, it's probably about a month ago, and
I don't know.
it come out and talking about young Maple's been the first cook and back in 34 and
Oh, really?
things.
Did Furnace graduate down at Spokane?
Yeah. Now, I think he went to Job School. He went with Bernita, and him and Walden. They all went. I think that Walden took Father Sid's car one time, and they'd take Papa's car the next time. And they all went to Job School down there. And they had it in the church house, the school.
Well, you said after you got married, my mother, she spent about as much time down at your house, staying there.
See, we lived just across the road from the church house. They had it in the church house there. By the time she got there.
Yeah, I know where you live. Right next to Miss Roush's store. Is that right?
Well, we built the store there, you see, and we overhauled the house there. But that was after we had been up at the other place 2 or 3 years. They robbed us, you know, about what we had in the store one time. So her Papa told him he could have enough lumber from over here to put in that, you know, if he could get the other to make the store. No, we live down there where that trailer is now. The south part of it.
Just across the road from the church house.
Just right across the road from the church house.
They built the electrical trailer in there a few years ago.
Well,
They built the electrical trailer in there a few years ago.
we lived down there.
They built the church house. They built the electrical trailer in there a few years ago.
but I don't know who.
I can't place that what it looks like down there now. I know Ray told me where Ray was born.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now he was born up there,
It's Ralph's house.
and Betty
But-
was.
That was your house, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was at that time. Betty was born up there, and Ray.
And
was,
that store next to it, that Mrs. Roush's store,
yeah, Harv built that.
O'Hara built that.
He
Our
built that
built
about
that.
50 years ago.
Oh, about 48 years ago.
Was there a store there before that he tore down? No store at all. Huh?
No, we was in that old store building there, across from where Charlie Cox was. You know, there was a store building there for a long time.
No, I didn't know that. You mean out in that open field?
No, it's just, it was there for, Bedford's had a
That
store
used to be a
there.
two-store building just north of the church house on the same side of the road. That's about where that drive-in is now, isn't it?
Okay.
I bet it is. That's the first school I ever went to was upstairs there in the IWF.
And there used to be an old store there.
Oh yeah, there was, one of them burned down. Well, the last one did too. And then they built another there.
My grandma Pryor, she told me her dad died down there by Mrs. Roush's store. And I always had the idea it was over there.
Well,
That it was probably that old one across the highway.
no, it was there might have been a store there before I ever remember. But what was his name?
It's Levi Harden. He died about 1911 or 12.
Well, now, so the post office was in that building there where we was, but the building had been overhauled whenever we went there.
You was robbed in that one burnt down.
Yeah. They come in the back door. Boy, they took out nearly everything we had.
Did they ever catch him? Were you in the store?
We was, we had the store there, but we wasn't in the store.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Well, we'd had a load of meat come in that evening, and I don't know what all.
Em Maples, did her husband ever get all right?
It was pitiful. He had had an eye transplanted, and he can see out of it. And,
Cindy.
He is about, oh, she's
she's just bunged up with arthritis. We went up to Siloam last fall sometime, and we spent 2 or 3 hours up there. He gave me and my mother both 2 packages of gum apiece. And
And Mrs. May Billingsley was a cook.
I never did know that, or I didn't know about him. But you know that church or that building, the school building wasn't started until 26 or 36.
36.
well, that's the old building where they used to go schooling.
I didn't know they had that there.
Charlie, I talked about Charlie, and you said you thought it might be 46 said something about 34, and I marked it out and put it, and then I said to Charlie Cox down the church, he said, that's right, and 34 or something.
36.
30.
36 when the school building
Yeah,
was
school building,
started.
Let's see.
Because Wayne was just a little,
Ray.
or Ray. He wasn't, but I bet he wasn't a month old whenever they put that
That was a
cornerstone up
wasn't
there.
a church house, a school building.
Oh yeah,
That's
and they
right.
had an old. They built a great big barn-like thing out there for the basketball kids. I just go from one place to the other.
Just like a no catch. Try some more.
Yeah, I just go from one place to the other.
Well, where do you hurt now? I mean, all over, or where's the worst place?
Well, my back was a little uncomfortable sitting there. Getting more uncomfortable all the time. I can sit up a while. I can